Shekinah Garner, a star of 90 Day Fiancé, has welcomed a child, yet supper given is absent at her side. Shekinah Garner, a prominent figure from the reality television series 90 Day Fiancé, has recently given birth. She is presently hospitalized, and the infant is in good health. Nevertheless, her former spouse, Supper Given, is absent during this joyous occasion. Shekinah and Supper have recently finalized their divorce. Owing to the animosity and resentment in their relationship, Supper no longer wishes to encounter Shekinah. Consequently, he did not attend the hospital at the time of the child's birth. This distancing is causing distress among numerous admirers. Nevertheless, some assert, persisting in a fractured relationship only cultivates further toxicity. Shekinah is presently dedicating time to her newborn, with her family providing support and affection. The hospital room was dimly illuminated, resonating with the subtle beeping of machinery and the muted bustle of nurses entering and exiting. For Shekinah Garner, a prominent figure on 90 Day Fiancé, time appeared to stand still the instant her baby emitted its first cry. Her eyes brimmed with tears, a blend of anguish, relief, and profound affection. She had ultimately become a mother. Her trip had been extensive, public, and frequently arduous, yet this moment was solely hers and the diminutive being she had just delivered into existence. Encircled by her mother, sister, and a few intimate friends, Shekinah cradled her child to her bosom. "You are my miracle," she murmured, her voice faltering as she smiled amidst her tears. "You embody all that I have longed for." However, one conspicuous absentee in the room was Supper Given, her former spouse. Observers who had tracked their tumultuous romance on 90 Day Fiancé were swift to recognize. The couple's narrative has been tumultuous from the outset, characterized by cultural disparities, trust dilemmas, and numerous emotional clashes broadcast globally. Following months of estrangement, they ultimately executed the divorce documents few weeks prior to the baby's arrival. Although Shekinah aspired for Supper to attend the birth, she inherently recognized that he would not. Their concluding dialogue was devoid of warmth, even without emotion. Supper unequivocally indicated his desire for a complete separation. He no longer wished to feign, even for the child's benefit. Upon receiving the news, fan reactions were varied. Numerous individuals inundated Shekinah's social media with messages of encouragement and reverence for her resilience. Critics admonished Supper for neglecting his obligations. A burgeoning number of individuals comprehended the intricacy of the situation. A viral comment stated, "At times, healing necessitates prioritizing peace over presence. If love transforms into suffering, remaining merely exacerbates the injuries." Despite the pain, Shekinah declined to allow negativity to establish itself in her heart. "I aspire to nurture my child in an environment of affection," she stated in an exclusive interview with a celebrity magazine shortly after the birth. "Regardless of the events surrounding Supper, I am grateful for this small blessing. This youngster rescued me." Her family, close-knit and unwaveringly loyal, united in support of her. Her sister relocated briefly to assist with nocturnal feedings and diaper alterations. Her mother assumed responsibility for dinner preparation and adorned the crib with artisanal crafts. Shekinah commenced chronicling her new existence as a single mother on social media, emphasizing healing, parenthood, and the rediscovery of joy. Weeks transformed into months. Shekinah's resilience emerged as a guiding light for other single mothers experiencing same anguish. She initiated a podcast entitled The Strong Start, whereby she not only recounted her own experiences, but also provided a place for others to express their truths. Regarding Supper Given, he maintained silence. No declarations, no publications. Only a limited number of sources close to him suggested that he was grappling with a shift and was uncertain about reintegrating without exacerbating past traumas. Nevertheless, Shekinah did not await resolution. Her attention was now directed towards goodnight ballads, nocturnal embraces, and the naive gazes that regarded her as their entire universe. Ultimately, she recognized that she was sufficient. Nonetheless, it was intended to be an enchanting evening in Istanbul. Sarper had meticulously orchestrated Shekinah's birthday for weeks, envisioning panoramic rooftop vistas, Turkish lanterns illuminating the night, a five-course supper, and a surprise belly dancer performance to introduce her to his cultural heritage. Unbeknownst to him, Shekinah harbored markedly different expectations. From the onset of the day, an unsettling atmosphere prevailed. Shekinah awoke in their shared apartment anticipating breakfast in bed, a gesture both simple and considerate. Instead, she discovered Sarper already engaged in his morning gym exercise, having left her a note. "Meet me at 8 p.m. Don attire that is alluring. Affectionately, S." Exasperated, Shekinah messaged her closest friend in the U.S. "He truly abandoned me on the morning of my birthday? Is there no breakfast available? Are there no flowers? Nothing?" Her companion responded, "He should be orchestrating something significant, or terminate his association." As evening descended, Shekinah hesitantly donned a form-fitting scarlet dress and high heels. Sarper collected her in a hired convertible, displaying his characteristic arrogant smirk. "You appear stunning, darling," he remarked, presenting her with a solitary red rose. "Only one," Shekinah murmured quietly. The rooftop meal was exquisite, featuring sweeping vistas of the Bosphorus. A solo violinist performed gently in the background. As they seated themselves, Sarper retrieved his phone to capture gym selfies. Once more, Shekinah struggled to maintain her composure while sipping her wine. The pivotal moment occurred with the arrival of the belly dancer. "Is that so, Sarper?" she retorted. "It is my birthday, and you employ a partially unclad woman to perform before us?" Sarper appeared perplexed. "It embodies Turkish culture. It is intended to be enjoyable." Shekinah rose from the table, her voice elevated. "Enjoyment. You are unaware of my desires for today. I sought connection, not a show. I want your concern." Patrons at adjacent tables redirected their attention as the dispute intensified. The violinist clumsily ceased playing. Sarper retorted, "I do care. However, you consistently desire everything to be conducted according to your preferences. This is the manner in which we commemorate birthdays in my nation." Shekinah's eyes filled with tears. "Perhaps I ought not to have visited your country at all." The hush that enveloped them was overwhelming. Following a brief period of tension, Shekinah seized her clutch and departed, her shoes echoing against the rooftop stairs. The following morning, TLC producers documented the aftermath. Shekinah assembled a little suitcase. "I am uncertain about our compatibility now," she stated into the camera. "Affection is insufficient when an individual fails to acknowledge your presence. My birthday ought not to resemble a conflict." Meanwhile, Sarper remained solitary on the rooftop since the previous night, gazing at the unconsumed cake inscribed with "My Shekinah star." "I endeavored to create something exceptional," he murmured. "Perhaps I never truly comprehended her needs." Nonetheless, the relationship between Shekinah Garner and Sarper Güven was never uncomplicated. Upon Shekinah's arrival in Istanbul to join Sarper, the cameras became intensely focused. Viewers swiftly recognized that this season of 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way, would be exceptionally emotional. The inception occurred when Sarper astonished Shekinah with a proposal for matching tattoos. However, rather of inciting romance, it provoked fury. "I am not a possession," Shekinah yelled in the tattoo workshop, exiting abruptly during the episode. Sarper, perplexed, stated, "It is love, not domination." However, Shekinah perceived it differently. "You cannot label me." Sarper audaciously instructed Shekinah to relinquish her flat and cohabit with him indefinitely. "You travel to Turkey for my sake," he stated. "I arrived in Turkey for love, not to be confined," Shekinah responded, her voice quivering. The couple experienced their most significant dispute to date. Sarper ejected her bag from the bedroom, prompting Shekinah to stay at a motel for 2 nights. During a rooftop gathering, Sarper accused Shekinah of excessively flirting with his pals. "You are laughing excessively," he retorted. "You are insecure," she exclaimed before the entire team. Security was compelled to interfere as the shouting intensified. It became as one of the most discussed sequences on TLC forums. Shekinah collapsed during a yoga practice, prompting Sarper to hasten her to the emergency room. Abruptly, all hostilities ceased. Sarper wept in the hospital waiting area. "I am indifferent to the drama. I merely desire her safety," he said. That moment endeared fans, until the subsequent episode, naturally. In a startling revelation, Shekinah discovered Sarper's second phone concealed behind a drawer. "Who is Layla?" she inquired. The show concluded with Sarper appearing astonished, while fans shouted at their TVs. "That's merely my cousin," he asserted in the subsequent episode, yet Shekinah remained unconvinced. As the sun commenced its descent over Los Angeles, Sarper Guven arrived at the unassuming townhouse that Shekinah Garner now inhabited. His palms were perspiring, and for the first time, the self-assured Turkish fitness expert experienced uncertainty. Within the residence, Shekinah was pacing anxiously. Her 6-year-old daughter, Aviana, was seated on the living room carpet, illustrating butterflies with a crayon. She was unaware that her mother's contentious boyfriend, the one she had only heard rumors about, was about to enter the room. Weeks of strained dialogues transpired between Shekinah and Sarper. Following their reconciliation after a tumultuous separation in Istanbul, circumstances had altered. Shekinah explicitly stated that for Sarper to have a future with her, he must meet the most significant individual in her life, Aviana. The moment has arrived. The doorbell sounded. Shekinah's heart raced. Upon opening the door, she discovered Sarper presenting a modest bouquet of white daisies accompanied by a pink toy flamingo. "Are those intended for me or for her?" Shekinah inquired with a smirk, attempting to conceal her apprehension. "Both of you," Sarper responded, advancing cautiously. "Primarily for her." Aviana emerged from behind the couch, her gaze inquisitive and wary. She overheard her mother weeping on the phone regarding this man. She had also observed her smile in his photographs. She was uncertain about her emotions. "Hello," Sarper remarked, kneeling to her height and extending the flamingo. "I am Sarper. I am a friend of your mother." Aviana exhibited reluctance. She then gazed at her mother, who responded with a soft nod. She seized the flamingo, but remained silent. Subsequently, she returned to her drawing. The evening commenced with an air of awkwardness. Sarper exerted excessive effort, attempting humor through dad jokes, inquiring about cartoons he evidently did not get, and remarking on Aviana's intelligence every 5 minutes. Shekinah observed the entire scene, feeling both amusement and terror. However, gradually a transformation occurred. At supper, Sarper praised Aviana for her sketching and requested her to instruct him on how to draw a butterfly. She mocked his abysmal effort and proposed to demonstrate how to enhance the aesthetics of the wings. Upon spilling wine on his white shirt and gasping in dismay, he chuckled and remarked, "Now I shall forever recall that you bestowed upon me my inaugural grape juice tattoo." Following supper, Sarper assisted Shekinah with the dishes while Aviana dozed off watching Encanto. In the kitchen, Shekinah regarded him, her expression a blend of relief and incredulity. "I did not anticipate such a favorable outcome," she stated. "I did not anticipate feeling this anxious," he said. "However, she is extraordinary, Shekinah. You are exceptional." Shekinah exhaled a sigh. "We have much to ascertain. I am uncertain whether we are compatible. However, this evening held significance." Sarper acquiesced with a nod. "I no longer desire you. I desire the entire family, including the flamingo." Both individuals laughed. As he departed that evening, Sarper glanced back at the townhouse. He understood that love transcended mere fervent passion or theatrical instances. It was about presenting oneself, clumsily, inadequately, yet authentically. For the first time, he was not solely contemplating his relationship with Shekinah. He contemplated the young girl who had instructed him in the art of drawing butterflies. Greetings, esteemed viewers. Welcome to my channel. I am Amelia. I hope your day is going well. If you liked the video, please remember to subscribe to the channel.